Welcome to Module 1. In this module, we are going to help you understand what overthinking is and how it affects us on a physical level. We will guide you through the 5 different cognitive processes of overthinking, which can be understood as different thought patterns. And we will help you find your triggers and causes. In this first lesson, we will tell you all about what overthinking is and how it affects us on a day-to-day basis. So let's start with the first question. What is overthinking?
Overthinking is not just thinking a lot, but it's a specific type of thinking that traps you in a cycle of worries and doubts. It involves analyzing past events over and over again, and also anticipating future scenarios, hypothetical situations that have yet to come to pass, and often without a productive outcome. And you can picture your washing machine, for example. Normal thinking would be the normal wash cycle. It runs, gets the job done, and then it stops. And your clothes, of course, come out clean, and you can move on with your day. But overthinking, on the other hand, is like your washing machine gets stuck in an endless cycle, and your clothes tumble over and over again, and they just get more worn out and twisted. And this is exactly what is happening in your mind when you overthink. Eventually, you will open the lid of your washing machine, and all you're going to find are just a twisted, soggy mess.
Yes, I really like this example, and I believe that a lot of people can find it very relatable too. Shall we also offer them a real-life example?
Of course. Let's say you had a disagreement with a friend. Normal thinking would be, well, the conversation didn't go very well, so maybe it might be worth to send a message later, or maybe call them again and see how they're doing, how they're feeling about it. And in overthinking, on the other hand, we might get stuck in loops. For example, oh my God, did I sound rude? What did I mean by that? But what was that pause before answering? Do you feel the difference already? That overthinking just puts more anxiety, more stress on top of your shoulder, and is not really finding a solution. Instead, normal thinking, it goes by step and is usually aimed to directly resolve the perceived issue.
I think we can all agree that overthinking is not helpful at all. But what are the real causes? How is overthinking affecting us on a day-to-day basis?
Of course, I can offer a few examples on how overthinking might impact your life in general. Because overthinking does not provide any advantage. Keep that in mind. It only creates stress, it amplifies anxiety, and it prevents from taking actions to resolve the issue. And this often leads only to more problems, not solutions. But let's talk about relationships, for example. It doesn't help overanalyzing text, replaying the conversation in your mind, questioning someone else's motives. The results are just miscommunication and tension. Let's take, for example, that a friend of yours just sent you a text, talk later, to end a conversation. And you already start to worry if they're mad at you, or doesn't matter. Maybe they just have to catch the train, or maybe they had an appointment, they were just leaving their apartment. You wouldn't know about that. So thinking about it and worrying about it doesn't help you in any way. Let's talk about work, which is another environment in which overthinking is really unhelpful. For example, you might second guess your ideas, and you avoid taking risks because of the fear of being wrong. You don't want to share in front of other people because you overthink the reactions that they might have. And this, of course, puts you a wall in front of you that you don't act, you don't share your ideas, and that might also impact your growing in your own career. And decision making is another big topic regarding overthinking. because overthinking on too many choices or researching too much can actually have the inverse effect, and you might get stuck in your decision-making process, which is a phenomenon called paralysis by analysis.
It's so crazy to see how overthinking is affecting so many aspects of our life. But if it is so unhelpful, why do we keep doing it to ourselves?
At its core, overthinking stems from a deep desire for control. We want to understand everything around us. And it's like our brain telling us that if we can think about this long enough and hard enough, if we can consider every angle, maybe, just maybe, we can avoid bad things from happening. But it's not how it works. It's a mental habit. It's just an illusion of control. We think that by mentally rehearsing every possible scenario, we're somehow protecting ourselves from future pain. But really, we are just exhausting ourselves in the present moment. And the process of overthinking can be broken down in two main components. And the first one being rumination, which is dwelling about past events or regrets. It's like when we get stuck thinking, why did I say that? Why did I do that? And it's like being trapped in a time machine that only moves backwards. The second component is worry. And this is the future component of overthinking, because we are about worrying about concerns and future uncertainties, things that didn't happen yet, but we are already imagining them in our mind. What could happen to us? And what if I mess up tomorrow, for example? What if things go wrong at work today? And your mind just become a crystal ball for catastrophe. And both types of overthinking have something in common. They can really stress you in the present, consuming a lot of mental energy that could be used to find real solution in the present.
That's right. Overthinking really is a mental habit. Overthinking doesn't just happen overnight. It develops gradually and becoming a deeply ingrained mental habit that feels almost impossible to break. Unlike any other habit, it starts small but grows with repetition and eventually becoming an automatic response to uncertainty, stress, or any challenging situation. Our brain operates on patterns, and when we repeatedly engage in overthinking, essentially we are training our mind to default to that behavior. And each time we replay a conversation, catastrophizing about past events, or get stuck analyzing the every details of our decision, we are reinforcing the neural pathways that make overthinking more likely to occur. It's like training a muscle in our brain. It becomes stronger every time we use it. And training long enough, it becomes a habit. And habits tend to become automatic behaviors that we don't even realize when we are doing it. The good news is that just as overthinking is a learned habit, it can also be unlearned. By recognizing the patterns and implementing the tools we offer in this course, we can begin to interrupt the circle and retrain our mind towards a more balanced and productive thinking. Breaking free from overthinking habit requires patience and practice, but it is entirely achievable with the right tool and the commitment to change.